Why you can't focus on anything. Every time you sit down to work, your thoughts stray, or you begin to browse your phone. Sound recognizable? The majority of people occasionally need help with focusing, but if it happens frequently, you could question why you can't focus. Or have you attempted to start that challenging assignment, but put it off and chosen to work on something simpler, or ignore it entirely? We've all lost our attention at some point. But because you have less time to work on that challenging assignment, you're putting more pressure on yourself, which affects your anxiety and stress levels. Numerous factors, such as routine behaviors, can impair your capacity to focus. Sometimes a health problem may be to blame. I am Caden, with expertise in self-development and finance. In my channel, I will tell you different ways to invest money and become a better version of yourself. Watch this video to learn more about how to increase your focus. Electronic distractions. Distractions surround us since we live in a technologically advanced era, which makes it harder for us to focus. Today's teenagers will easily interact with 3 different technologies simultaneously: a phone, TV, and computer. It's simply a way of living, but it's not a strategy for concentration. Social media, mobile gadgets, and simply a lot of screens have been introduced into our lives by technology, distracting us from the actually important things. Nowadays, most individuals spend over 40% of their waking hours on a computer or mobile device, which is too much time. We could all focus much better if we eliminated all of these interruptions. You're engaged in a messy job. You might be one of those people that work best in a chaotic environment, but you are undoubtedly the exception. You need some order in your chosen office, unless you're an artist living in the disorder. Even if the mess and clutter don't irritate you, they might nonetheless divert your attention. The final result is whether your desk is cluttered with games and toys, or use takeout wrappers and Coke bottles. You need to focus on the task at hand, so tidy it up. You might be multitasking. When it comes to the typical citizen's yearly labor hours, the United States is now dominating the rest of the globe. Additionally, the United States is among the few nations in the world without a national paid paternal leave program, mandatory paid sick time, or mandatory yearly leave. The bottom line is that because we all work too much, we need help to focus. Moving away from the office, wherever that may be, and concentrating on something else is highly useful. You might only be able to concentrate on what you're doing if you take on too many things at once. Stress and worry, which we already recognize as contributing factors to lack of focus, can arise when one is overworked. Lack of nutrition. In rare situations, a vitamin and nutrient shortage might also be linked to a lack of focus. Loss of vitamin B is primarily responsible for mental fog and lack of concentration. While vitamins C and D are essential for boosting focus, vitamin B is linked to improved cognitive performance. These vitamins can help your brain function more slowly and help you focus. But how can you tell if a particular factor is to blame for your inability to concentrate? These symptoms are obvious, so you could recognize them if you pay close enough attention. You aren't sleeping enough. We spend at least 25% of our lives in bed for a purpose. A good night's sleep is crucial. We can refuel, the brain can strengthen neurological connections, and our bodies have time to mend muscles and replace lost substances. Significant amounts of rest and sleep are necessary for our brains to function cognitively. Lack of sleep negatively affects memory recall, focus, attention to detail, and retention, according to numerous research. Your blood pressure may rise due to sleep deprivation, adding to the stress on your body. Exercise is the polar opposite of sleep. Most of us do not engage in enough quality exercise, as seen by the rising obesity rates in the United States and around the globe. Due to the number of hours we all work and the alleged scarcity of spare time, it's simple to dismiss exercise. However, a lack of exercise will have an impact on both the body and the mind. Exercise promotes hormone production, fights sadness and anxieties, lowers stress, and even improves insulin sensitivity. These elements influence our ability to focus and pay attention. So go for a walk or a run. By choosing the stairs every day over the elevator, your brain will benefit greatly, even if you start slowly. Mental health issues. The inability to concentrate is a common symptom of some underlying mental health issues, including PTSD and ADHD. People with a severe loss of focus should also consider the possibility of mental health problems. The following health conditions may be indicated by a short attention span. ADHD. It doesn't simply affect children. Adults with this mental health problem are likely to experience the following primary symptoms: difficulty focusing, impulsivity, mood fluctuations, and poor time management. Anxiety. Focusing might be hampered by worry, since worrying requires mental effort. Several indicators of a generalized anxiety disorder include persistent anxiety, fear, and indecision. Hormone disturbance. Your capacity to focus can occasionally vary significantly as a result of hormone imbalance. This is because the brain depends on chemical activity to perform many of its functions as an organ. Thyroid issues. This gland produces hormones essential for many bodily processes, including thinking. You can find it difficult to concentrate if your thyroid gland produces too little or too much. Signs you're not focusing well. There are many indications that your focus and concentration levels could be better. If your short-term memory is poor because you need help remembering recent events, you won't be able to unwind, constantly misplace things, and find it challenging to stay focused. You can find it difficult to make choices, lack energy, and frequently make mistakes, or find it challenging to complete the activities assigned to you. What can appear to be instances of off days or just a terrible week could potentially be anything more. The signs of attention deficit disorder are apparent. Here are a few examples. Having trouble recalling events from the recent past, becoming fidgety and unable to sit still for an extended period, losing things frequently and forgetting why you entered a room, putting off tasks till the point where you miss crucial deadlines and meetings, making a lot of careless errors and needing to be clumsier, distancing yourself from your professional life because tasks at work appear insurmountable, being aware of your persistent drowsiness or disassociation, even when not doing anything. How to increase focus? What can you do if you're wondering, why can't I focus on anything? I will give you 9 suggestions. 1. Split your day into 30-minute chunks. You can focus for an extended time by dividing your time into smaller, more focused chunks. By dividing your job into shorter 30-minute chunks, you're essentially promising yourself that during this period, you'll only work on this activity and nothing else. 2. Deconstruct the task. Starting an enormous task frequently feels overwhelming, which makes you hunt for something else to do. Putting it off only makes it more difficult to finish because you have less time to do it and your anxiety and stress levels rise. Starting something is usually better than putting it off. So divide the task into more straightforward, more achievable tasks. You shouldn't feel bad about starting with the more specific activities because you're building momentum. 3. Consume the frog. According to the proverb, eat the frog, if you complete the most difficult activity first, everything else will feel simpler. It can become addictive to consistently start with the most challenging activity, since your productivity and confidence will skyrocket. Employ timers. Using timers to keep you focused is a straightforward approach to managing your time. Set a timer for the amount of time you plan to spend working on the task once you've chosen it. 5. Control your notification settings. There are various distractions that can keep you from focusing on essential duties throughout a busy workday. These might be Slack messages, phone calls, email notifications, phone notifications, or conversations among coworkers. It can be difficult to distinguish between what is urgent and vital in a crowded workplace. making it easy to become distracted by a request or the feeling that your inbox is getting out of control, which leads you to waste time replying to them. This strategy prevents you from concentrating on what is crucial and what requires immediate attention. It would help if you made an organized strategy for your day to regain some control. Prioritize the tasks you need to complete that day, starting with urgent and crucial ones. After that, divide up these jobs into work periods throughout the day. These portions may also include your Slack, inbox, and other activities. As a result, rather than the tools dictating your day, you are in control of it. 6. Quit multitasking. Although the idea of multitasking seems quite enticing, it frequently leads to many things being started but never completed. The temptation to multitask grows as you switch between Slack, email, and the presentation you're working on while at work. You are never entirely present in any of them by operating in this manner because you're constantly considering your next step. Spend time on just one thing at a time, finishing it well before moving on to improve the quality of your work. 7. You need to consume food or liquids properly. The body needs fuel in addition to rest and exercise. Your body will have problems if it is not provided with the right energy, just like any machine. Even while it's a wonderful treat from time to time, a cheeseburger with fries and a Coke won't do anything for your brain. Additionally, if you're dehydrated, your body will deteriorate and your mind will wander. You must provide your body and brain with the nourishment required to operate at their peak levels. Make it a point to sip water regularly at your workplace. Include vitamins and fish oils in your morning routine. Consume more organic fruits and veggies. The switch that turns learning and peak performance on and off is emotion. Your emotional state affects the quality of your focus and thus the outcomes you can produce, but it is frequently disregarded or taken for granted. Your performance will unavoidably decrease if you operate in a distrust and fear-based organization. It's a fact of neurology. However, you can perform at your best if you collaborate with a group that is high on trust and low on fear. You will be more able to keep yourself in the proper emotional state for focus if you have a deeper understanding of yourself, your psychology, and your emotional triggers. Finally, I may state that to pay serious attention, you must be interested. You also need to be driven. Engagement is equivalent to interest and motivation. When you work in your sweet spot, the intersection of 3 spheres, what you love to do, what you are exceptionally skilled at doing, and what promotes the group's purpose or what someone will pay you to accomplish, does such engagement automatically develop? How do you gain your focus? Don't forget to tell us in the comments.